in the country just months after the death of the soldiers. The group attended the Peace and Security Dialogue hosted by the Thabo Foundation in Magaliesburg in the west of Johannesburg. M23 spokesperson Lawrence Kanyuka.
What happened between us and South African soldiers is DRC politics who went to lie to South African and tell them a different story. Because when South African came in DRC, they found out that these people we're fighting with, they are all brothers. They are not foreign as they told us they are foreign. This is just a politics of exclusion, a xenophobia that the DRC government implementing and spreading across.
One of the chief negotiators for the 2006 Juba peace talks in Uganda has criticized the International Criminal Court's decision to try the country's wanted rebel leader, Joseph Kony, in absentia. The ICC is hearing war crimes charges against the fugitive, who has been on its list since 2005. Kony is accused of spearheading a brutal reign of terror that killed and abducted tens of thousands. Dr. David Matsanga says this approach will not help the situation. It instead reopens old wounds. He says the ICC should focus on capturing Kony rather than trying him in absentia.
Article 63 is very clear. Try the man when he's present there. ICC is the most obnoxious, stupid organization that nobody should listen to. ICC now is getting allowances. You are getting allowances. We Ugandans have moved on. Don't bring in Ugandans. No. Ugandans have healed. They have moved on. Now, you try a man. What is it going to help us? Touch the guy. Capture him. Bring him in the ICC to stand for his crimes.
7 Chinese nationals found guilty on charges related to kidnapping and forced labour have been sentenced to 20 years in prison in the High Court in Johannesburg in South Africa. They were convicted in March on 160 charges of kidnapping and forced labour involving a number of Mozambican nationals, including minors. The case followed a 2024 Hawks raid on a village, Deep Factory, Beautiful City. The daughter of one of the accused, who goes by the name Nancy Xiao, claims the accused weren't aware of the gravity of the crime and had challenges understanding English.
We all think this is just a small problem. Nobody tells us what's going on. How serious is this? They all think they're going to be fine. The boss is always lying to them. They can't understand English. And the previous lawyer, the Kruger, he knows everything, I tell you. They're all lying to them. Only the judge, he doesn't know a thing.
The United Nations Security Council will hold an emergency session later today in the aftermath of Israel's military strike against Hamas in Doha, Qatar yesterday. The strike has been roundly condemned by a growing number of countries and the United Nations, while the United States President Donald Trump said he was not thrilled about the attack on Qatar. For any news stories you would like to share with us, please do send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 144459. For Channel Africa News, I'm Cholani Tulo Wepe.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Well, it's gone 7 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African Time. Good afternoon and welcome to The Upside on Channel Africa, The African Perspective with Tebogo Lekhuleni and Mmatsheko Mosito. Happy Wednesday. live from the Auckland Park studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. And you can join us live on our social media platforms at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. We'd love to hear from you as well. Send us a voice note. Where are you streaming us from? +27 63 406 9126. Good afternoon to you, Mmatsheko, Mosito, and welcome. How are you doing on this Wednesday afternoon?
I'm doing well, thank you. I see the perfectionist in you just cannot not have equipment work and function correctly.
Yes! I've been struggling with the screen for like 10 minutes. It's working.
The A-type in you just cannot. Everything's got to function correctly. The mics have to be on. We've got to be able to hear each other.
Yes.
Everything must just be parfait before we go on air. But I love that. I love having a teammate who is accountable. You see? I love it.
Accountable.
Accountable.
Hey, we've got a fun show lined up today.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be glorious.
Your favorite cuisine today in the first hour. Tell us about it.
Raw food.
No,
vegan. The Afro-vegan, yes. Vegan food is what we're going to be exploring today. So Chef Noni is going to be joining us, and she is known as Vegan African chef or vegan African cuisine,
vegan
rather.
African chef, the vegan African cuisine chef
is what she specializes in. So, and also what's going to make this particular segment extra special is that she joins us in studio and she's brought the food.
I saw it. I just got a glimpse of it before I walked into studio. I can't wait to taste. I was
like plants?
No, I was telling Ululu I need to be converted. I need to be converted. I can't wait to taste. I still need to be converted on full-on plant-based vegan.
We are going to work on that.
Yes.
And it's going to be exciting.
Yes.
And the golden hour, just after 2, we're going to look at the importance of insurance, especially at this critical time as we literally fast approach the festive season. So we're going to unpacking this, looking at why the festive season is so significant and what types of insurances are available, matters around planning celebrations, family gatherings, and how that can be affected by, how and when you are insured.
100%.
Insurance is also I think we look at it as just this one blanket thing, but there's so many intricacies to it. And
quite a few.
Every single season is different, and when you insuring your car is different to insuring your house, is different to insuring your voice, is different to all of that. So we're going to look at some critical pointers there for you, and then in the final hour we're going to be winding down
with some ASMR. If you don't know what ASMR is, and you've probably seen videos on social media, it's actually called Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. These are those videos where people get super up close and personal with the microphone so you can hear everything. We're going to be having that live in studio. Looking forward to it. It's 10 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome to The Upside.
África. Conhece Ntivani?
Claro que sou eu.
Ntivani é o amante da música de corpo e alma.
Eu amo música africana.
Ele aprecia todos os tipos de melodias e passa os seus dias a ouvir a Channel Africa. Adivinha só, a Channel Africa quer ajudar o Ntivani e os amantes da música em todo o lado a descobrir ainda mais música incrível. Por isso, a Channel Africa está a convocar artistas africanos a submeterem as suas músicas. Músicos, lembrem-se de nos dar todas as informações relevantes no music@channelafrica.co.za. As submissões são a vossa oportunidade de ser ouvidos, mas não garantem inclusão na lista. Todas as submissões serão cuidadosamente analisadas para verificar se cumprem os requisitos da nossa estação. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
In this episode of Channel Africa Conversations,
Peter talks to Dr. Thulisile Buddha, an academic, author, and an expert in indigenous knowledge systems.
join us for a compelling discussion on preserving African languages and traditions
in the digital era. Dr. Tulisile unpacks the role of educators, explorers, and how technologies like AI can support cultural preservation, and challenges us to rethink how we honor African heritage. You can find the episode on YouTube, SABC Plus, and on our website, channelafrica.co.za. This episode is a must-listen for educators, creators, and change makers across the continent. Channel Africa, the African perspective. The Upside. On the Upside, your voice matters. Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday 23rd of July for Hard Talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the whole country affected by gender-based violence. For all your favorite SABC radio stations, call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC.
We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are the Upside.
Well, it's 17 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African Time. Beautiful music to kickstart the Upside this afternoon. Ndawana there by Shasha featuring Kelvin Moore and Sykes. What an exciting day it is for us on the Upside this afternoon, because we kick off the show by talking all things African vegan cuisine. I know Mmatsheko Mosito is salivating from left lip to bottom to up to top lip,
something like
that. And that's because we've got Chef Noni in the studio. She is the vegan African chef, and she's going to walk us through the amazing dishes that she's prepared for us, and also why we need to jump onto this bandwagon of African vegan cuisine, which personally I have not converted to, but maybe through this conversation things will change, Mmatsheko.
Listen, things have got to change. But also, if you really think about our history, Southern African diets are generally very green.
That's true, yeah.
You know, Zimbabwe, Zambia, South Africa, our diets are actually really green. It's just sorghum and wild
vegetables,
greens. Wild greens, morogo wa tepe, and whatever else you can find out there. And you make mfino, and you make all sorts of other divine, naturally vegan. I know that's like the commercialized term now, but our diets in Southern Africa have always been very green. So we're going to speak to Chef Noni. She's going to tell us about how she blends traditional recipes with plant-based twists. So basically that means you can veganize anything, okay? All your favorite goods. And it's so beautiful because it smells nourishing in the studio. She's brought a tray of delicious food that we can't wait to taste. And she's here. She's live in studio. Hello, Queen. Earth Angel Noni.
Oh, say that again.
How are you?
I am well, thank you. I'm good, thank you so much. Yes, so my name is Nonhlanhla Moroinyane. I think you guys know my underground gang name, which is Chef Noni. But yes, it's really great to be here today, and I look forward to sharing my story. It's actually been such an amazing journey, telling the story, but not just telling my story, but telling the African story on my plate, and that's what I strive for every day. I always look at my plate, I'm like, is my plate African today? You know,
I love that.
And that is the magic that I want to share with the world, to celebrate us again, you know, to break the borders using food. And I know a lot of us are already trying to put together this continent in our many different ways and different gifts. Yeah. And my gift, of course, is to bring home together using just that one plate. So that's what I've got a bit of East today. West Africa, I've got North Africa, I've got Southern Africa. You know, of course I'm from here, Southern Africa, but I am African, very African. And I celebrate that in the kitchen every day. And I also give thanks that I have been chosen. So this work it's not a job really. This is my calling. This is what I do, to reacquaint myself with the land, to reacquaint myself with my ancestry, and by actually working with these beautiful ancestors here today. I've got millet, I've got sorghum in the food, I've also got indlubu, I also have sweet potato greens, I've got pumpkin greens, I've got tepe, I also have cashew nuts in there, so, and there's egusi in there as well. There's also pumpkin, peach blossoms, I've got tamarind, the whole store, and I've also got raw mango. I've got a kachumbari there. Shout out to East Africa for kachumbari. and of course I made a harissa for you. Harissa is like my favorite thing to make.
It is, isn't it just the best?
Yeah, so mine is like, oh yeah, it is.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
you're going to enjoy that with a pancake. The pancake, of course, looks green. The way it's green.
Chef, I'm going to ask you to pause, breathe.
Okay.
Breathe. The excitement in the studio is palpable. All right, and we're going to take a quick breather because when we come back, we're going to ask Chef to walk us through all those dishes one by one so that our lovely viewers and listeners can get a taste and a sense from where they are of what we are consuming in studio. It's 22 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. Don't go anywhere.
The Midnight Snack, 12 to 3 a.m.
Our fitness coach, her name is Yvonne Dimakazo Pasha. How to remain consistent with gyms, Dima, and I'm going to put you on the spot right now. As we are talking, I will send you my picture and I want you to tell me what you think I should work on. Because, you know, when I look at myself, Dima, I think I'm very handsome. I'm so good looking, like, oh my goodness. Like here at Channel Africa where I work, I think I'm one of the most good looking people ever. Like sometimes when I look at myself in the mirror, I never get used to how good I look. I'm just amazing.
You're okay with the way you're looking. You wish people could and now you want to put me on the spot.
Do I need gym?
Yeah. I mean, if you can just consider eating healthy, cutting down a few foodstuffs such as junk.
The Midnight Snack, every Monday, 12 to 3 a.m. with Chanduko Ligege. The Upside, 1 to 4 p.m. Central African Time. With Tebogo Lekhuleni and Mmatsheko Mosito. Only on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
All right, it's a cuisine, it's a festival of cuisine in the studio this afternoon because we are joined in studio by the African vegan chef, Chef Noni. And she was so excited about all the dishes that she has lined up for us. I said, let's save some enthusiasm so that you can share one by one. All right. Chef Noni, let's walk us through what you have there and perhaps what... as you speak about one particular dish, we can maybe, I don't know, taste it. We can pass it around and make it a communal affair, this one.
Yes, I'd like to dish as
all right. So, Chef is going to dish up. What are you dishing up first?
Okay, so I'm going to, I want to start with the sweet stuff, right? That's going to be dessert.
Dessert, okay.
So I will start with our savory dish, which is, of course, the pancake. So the pancake, I've got the morojo right here, actually. So I kept some of this. Don't mind my shaky hands. But there we go. So this is sweet potato leaves.
Sweet potato leaves, okay.
With the pumpkin greens and amaranth greens, so which are blended together with red lentil.
Okay.
And coconut milk, and
and
then you go in and you make a pancake. You can also bake it if you want to, but if you want to make a bread, you can absolutely make a bread. I made a pancake today. So, and then on our pancake we're going to have harissa. The harissa is a cashew harissa, so it is a roasted pepper, fire roasted pepper with roasted cashew and seasoning, and of course I've got a bit of Ethiopia in here. I've got mitmita, which is that chili from Ethiopia. If you've had it, it's not too strong, but it's yummy, and that is my choice of seasoning today. And then on top of that, we're going to bring. Okay, so I forgot the serviettes in the car. Ask you.
That's okay.
You're gonna lick your hand. You're going to lick.
That's all the more reason for us to lick our plates.
That is it.
and all of that. What inspired you to specialize in vegan food? Because I mean, as you were speaking, your archetype already tells me you're a medicine woman. Yes. So you found a lot of healing through the food, but tell us why you specialize in vegan cuisine.
So I wasn't trying to, right? I wasn't trying to do that. I was, of course, I mean, I started cooking from an early age. I was raised by my great grandmother, and very inspiring is that we lived off the land, and a lot of everything that we ate was from the land, and we foraged, and it is then. Of course, it's something I forgot a bit about. I had to derail from that journey. And of course, I knew that I was one of those weird little kids, who carried a whole lot more, than normal or than usual. And of course, then the journey took me to food. I absolutely loved. This is the plate that, please, you can both try. Can I make you each a plate so you can have your own plate? You're going to share that.
Share this one,
right?
Thank you so much.
So the journey then brought me to, to listening to the food story, and I was asking myself, but I want to be a designer. I want to be this. I want this. What is this food thing? And I just went to. I would go wild in the kitchen, but besides going wild in the kitchen, there's this energy that would awaken inside of me when I'm cooking, and it would really speak to me and say, this is what you must do, this is what you must do. And then I found out, of course, as I was journeying through, that the calling is calling me to the food. It is. So I come from a whole house of healers, and they, of course, not everyone really was able to express their journeys in the way they wanted to, or their healing in the way they wanted to. But I was fortunate enough to really find myself in that space, and explore really what is this thing that's brewing inside of me. And the food spoke so loud. It became, every time I cooked, everyone is, people would literally cry eating the food, and I'm like, you okay? So and then I found out that actually there's so much more to this food thing. It's not just food, it's not just it is nourishment, but it also, there's a spirit that lives in the food that wants to speak to me, and it's been speaking since the beginning. But I officially went into that in 2019, and I had to quit my job working in the pharmacy, in the pharmaceutical industry, and everything said, now you know this world, we want to take you to the world that we need you to be in. My world literally flipped upside down, and I had to just let go of that and focus on this for healing. So when you come, it's the food that must speak and say, this is the kind of food that you need to eat in order to connect to yourself, in order to connect, in order to heal, in order to, to speak to the other worlds, that are living inside of you. So that is what I do. So the magic really just goes on, in the kitchen as I cook, and so in lay terms, these are the ancestors that I speak to. These are the bones that I consult with, the grains of our land.
So this is essentially your tool of divination.
Of course.
I love that. I love that so much, and we can taste the rhythm in the food. We can taste. I mean, it's perfectly seasoned. It's just delicioso.
Thank you.
Chef Noni in studio with us, and she's brought you some beautiful vegan cuisine that we are just so honored to be able to taste. And also, for me, this way of eating also honors real ingredients. Do you understand? Understanding, sinking your feet into the waters, knowing where the food comes from, is very, very important. And that's who we are as African people, and we celebrate that. Okay, we're going to carry on being in discussion in just a moment. Let's take the sports news, the very first for the show this afternoon. Fikile Lengwadi standing by with the latest.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Afternoon, guys. Let me start off with the cricket news. Proteas T20 captain Aiden Markram has credited the SA20 for giving a wide range of players an opportunity to showcase their skills, therefore widening the pool for the national selectors. Markram was speaking ahead of South Africa's 3-match T20 international series against England, which starts tonight in Cardiff. He says the T20 league, which has taken the country by storm since the inaugural season in 2022, helps to expose younger players to the big stage and get them ready for international cricket. Markram says they are not underestimating the England T20 squad, and also they are not complacent.
Yeah, always a good team, always. Never going to play against England and it's going to be an easy game, so expecting it to be a really good challenge for us. Again, they've won heaps of white ball tournaments and sort of were the trendsetters at a stage. So looking forward to the series, to facing them and sort of their strengths that they bring to the table, and sort of seeing where we are as a team against a really good opposition.
On to football news. Peter Shalulile lit up Francis Town with a ruthless World Cup qualifying hat-trick, guiding Namibia to a commanding 3-0 win over Sao Tome and Principe. The Mamelodi Sundowns striker struck in the 41st, 66th and the 71st minutes, sealing his first treble on the international stage and cementing the Brave Warriors' hold on second place in Group H. With Tunisia already qualified, Namibia's focus shifts to separation in the chase pack. Now on 15 points, Colin Benjamin's side edges ahead of Liberia, Equatorial Guinea and Malawi in a tight race for the playoff spot. Sao Tome remain winless, but Namibia's clean sheet, clinical edge and Shalulile's form offer a timely surge of belief. The dream lives on and the Brave Warriors are marching on. On to netball news. Netball South Africa NSA acting president Mame Diale, who is contesting the federation's presidency in the upcoming elections on the 25th of October, says NSA has built strong structures around the baby Proteas preparations and is confident they have done enough to ready the team for the global stage. Diale has issued a top 4 mandate to the under-21 baby Proteas ahead of the World Youth Cup in Gibraltar from the 19th to the 20th of September. Diale says a lot has been put in for the baby Proteas.
We invested so much to the team. We had a bigger group at the beginning, and we had to cut down the numbers. So we gave the coaches more time to focus, on a smaller group of the team. And we are definitely behind the coaches to say, go out there, represent us well. We are in full support, and we're just asking for South Africa to also support them.
Now, athletics, and we wrap up. Olympic 200-meter champion Tebogo says he would let his legs do the talking in his battle with brash American Noah Lyles at the World Championships in Tokyo. The softly spoken Botswanan won his country's first Olympic gold medal in any sport in Paris last year, where Lyles finished third. Tebogo labeled his flamboyant American rival arrogant after the race, and Lyles' outsized character is likely to command the global spotlight again when the World Championships begin on Saturday. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Fikile Lungwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Nkhanza zokhudza amuna ndi azimayi kapena kuti gender based violence GBV zikuononga mioyo komanso kuphwasula midzi. Zikuchitika m'manyumba, m'masukulu, malo ogwirira ntchito ndipo kwambiri mwakachetechete, koma sizikuyenera kupitirira. Mukazimva yankhulani. Ngati mwakhudzidwa funani chithandizo, chifukwa kusachita chilichonse sikuthandiza. Mverani kuma wireless onse 14 a SABC kuchokera lachitatu pa 23 mwezi uno wa Julai kuti mumve zokambirana, malangizo, masewero, zionetsero za maphunziro ndi mafunso okhuza nkhanza za amuna ndi azimayi ndi akatswiri, anthu opulumuka ku nkhanzazi, kukhazikitsa lamulo komanso dziko lonse lokhudzidwa ndi nkhanzazi. Zonsezi pa wireless yomwe mumayikonda ya SABC. Imbirani pa nambala 0800 428 kuti munene za nkhanzazi kapena kupeza chithandizo. Nkhanza zokhuza amuna ndi azimayi zimatha ndi inu. Uthenga ukufikani kuchokera ku SABC.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
Well, it's 36 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African Time. Let's get the latest in business news. Nosipho Zuma is standing by.
Business news on Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
Thank you, Tebogo. Good afternoon. In your business news this hour, Ghana's economy has expanded by 6.3% year-on-year in the second quarter of 2025. Now, the country statistics agency says that the services sector encompassing finance, insurance, trade and education surged by 9.9% in the quarter compared to 2% a year earlier. Now, in all, GDP rose 7.8%, boosting growth while agriculture expanded and oil contracted. The gold, oil and cocoa producing nation is emerging from its most severe economic crisis in decades. Zambia's High Court has ruled that Standard Chartered does not have to pay a $500,000 compensation to a former client it sold a now default Chinese property bond to at the height of the Asian country's real estate crisis. The court judgment has ruled that the bank had not broken any local laws by selling the bond in 2022. Zambia Securities and Exchange Commission sanctioned London-listed Standard Chartered over the issue back in January for breaching two of Standard Chartered's rules. Our U.S. retailer Walmart will launch its first branded stores in South Africa this year. The move by Walmart, which already owns South African retail group Massmart, places it in direct competition with established domestic retailers, including market leader ShopRite, Woolworths and Pick n Pay. Online, it will be going head-to-head with Amazon and market leader Takealot. Smart technology and artificial intelligence have taken center stage at one of the largest agriculture exhibitions in South Africa at Bredstop, east of Cape Town City. The 6th Napo Cape Expo is being headed by Grain SA and looks into how technology can transform agriculture. Nampo chairperson Hank Ackenberg says they'll showcase solutions to increase productivity and resilience.
Smart innovation is built into the hard equipment like tractors, like our combines, our harvesting machinery and our planting machinery to help us to reduce the use of input costs, to be more economical when we plant, to reduce the costs per hectare. And we cannot do that on traditional ways.
Nissan is considering a rollout of hybrid cars that use its e-power technology in South Africa as a way to help drivers move from petrol engines towards electric vehicles. Low incomes and high import duties have long hampered manufacturers' efforts to sell more cars in Africa, with patchy power access and a lack of sufficient charging infrastructure posing additional hurdles for EV adoption on the continent. Now, Nissan has already launched hybrids in Morocco, Egypt and Tunisia that run the e-power system, which the company thinks could also be popular among South African drivers. Your financial indicators: $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 506. In Botswana, it's 13 pula 21. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 39, and in Zambia, it's 23 kwacha 89. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 43. Russia is 83 rubles 24. India is 88 rupees 44. China at 7 yuan 12, and in South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 50. $1 is trading at 74 pence to the British pound and 85 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $3,642 and platinum at $1,385 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $66.92 a barrel. Now, for any business news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Mosito Suma.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. This Heritage Month, we honor the beauty of our differences and the strength of our cultures. Listen to Channel Africa on satellite channel PAS10. The Upside with Tebogo Lekhuleni and Mosito, bringing Africa's voices to the world. On Channel Africa, the African perspective.
18 minutes to go till it's 2 p.m. in Central African time. We are chewing, we are eating, we are feeding the cells of our spirit, but also the cells of our body. And the thing about this food, I'm telling you, I wish I could describe how it smells. You know, it smells like real ingredients, as I was saying in the last segment. And that's what's missing in the world. You know, just getting out of the cartons and the cans and really just embracing food in its purest form.
Yep.
And also, I think what's so beautiful, Nune, I know you'll agree with this, is the tastiness of the food is just a side effect. Really, what we're doing is nourishing ourselves.
We're healing.
We're healing.
That's it.
You know, through the food. And I'm so happy that you have found your divinity and your medicine in this manner and are sharing it with the world. And you would have been super restless had you not, you know, quit your pharmaceutical job to do this. You were not going to find rest. So yeah, let's talk about that. We're actually sharing just how the food is kind of blossoming into other projects, other sacred spaces, you know, safe spaces for women, safe spaces for us to sink our feet into the waters and connect with the land. There's a project that you're working on that has already got me excited. I'm like, okay, how can I get involved? Talk to us about the land love language. What's that all about?
Oh my gosh. Those were beautiful whispers as well from the ancestors, from the land, from the food, from the waters, you know. So as I journeyed into the food said, you know what, we need you to go back to the land. Go first find out the source, go to the source, you know, and acknowledge that and reacquaint with the land. So the land love language is a language that comes from the ancients, Emandulo. That is what this series or the event that is coming through. I've been hosting a series of these events, I think since 2021. I had no idea what I was talking about, but I said something Emandulo, or the journey to the beginning, is brewing inside of me, and we are not headed to an ending as African people, but a beginning, and it involves us acquainting with that language again, speaking this kind of love, loving our bodies, loving the land, because the land is the body and the body is the land. So if what you do to the land is what you do to your body as well, what you do, exactly, the permaculture that you do here, what you put on your body, the things you the way you dress, the cosmetics you use, that is the land love language. That is the same as you going back to the ground and saying, I want to see how my food is growing. I want to feel, I want to see the seasons come and go. I want to feel the rains and give thanks to the rains that will pour into the grounds where I have planted the seeds that know my name, you know, so that one day they could grow to feed those that need the nourishment, that those that need the healing, because our people are needing healing. And the food is that one element I believe in so much. And, you know, sometimes when you're not feeling okay, you go outside into your garden and you touch the soil and you sit there and you listen and you feel. That is the land love language that I'm sitting with every day, and I want to share that with the world. So I'm journeying back to where I was born in the Eastern Cape, KwaZulu in Lekhuleni, to go and bring people to the land of my great grandfather. And this is sacred land that has been, of course, deserted. No one goes there anymore. This is ancient language that lives there, and it knows me because I used to pass by there going to the farm with my great grandmother, going to grow food, and I would pass by there, collect wood, come back and bring it back to the village. And now I'm 40 years old, you know, it's 32 years later, I'm going back there, and I'm going to go and tell them I understand what the story was of growing the food, of nourishing each other, and knowing where your food is coming from. So the team that I'm going with, or the crew that I'm going with, are going to experience my beginning and where it started, and the beginning, and what Emandulo really means. And this is it. So please come join us.
How do we do that?
Yeah, give us
because
the
that
dates.
sounds like a journey we want to take, and that is for me a true retreat.
That's it.
You know, not one where it's 2 hours or 3 days and you go back to the chaos. That is a rewiring. Yeah, so how can we get involved?
So
I'm so excited.
You can follow me on Instagram or the platforms and send me a message. I can also leave my number behind so that you can get in touch and send a WhatsApp. We are leaving on the 19th, also in celebration of the African New Year, the solstice that's also the equinox that's coming also.
Yeah.
So we are also moving into, there are many sacred lands or sacred spaces, and I'm here to come and also speak about from my home, to come and say this also has so much to offer, and I'd like to share that with the world and those that need it. So from the 19th up until the 22nd, we are deeply immersing ourselves in the land and meeting the land, for the first time. I think it's not the first time, but we are remembering the land. So it is called the journey of remembrance, or the ritual of remembrance. So I will be hosting alongside my husband, Masilo Morenyane, who has been working this journey with, working and walking the journey with me. And of course the other people as well that have been holding space with us. And the food is going to be the biggest story that we're going to tell, is that we're not eating food that does not come from the land. It comes from the land. We're celebrating what the land wants us to eat, because the land is needing our sorghum back into the ground. It's needing the millets back into the ground, our beans and our herbs back into the ground, so it can heal. Remember, when we plant what belongs to this land, what's indigenous to the land, then we are bringing life to the land. So that is, we're carrying seeds with us, we're planting trees. And also I am also pleading anyone that has access to trees, indigenous trees. We're looking for 3,000 indigenous trees to plant in the village to green it up. And that is my plea. And I would really offer a free food experience in my home. If you can hook me up, I will be happy to host you and cook for you and your family or your people, if you can hook us up with some trees.
It is 49 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. We are currently in conversation with Chef Noni, the African vegan chef, the vegan African chef. And I tell you what, I want to touch on the topic of how we can, especially in this generation, how we can get in touch or go back to a time when you can respect the ingredients that we are putting into our bodies. Because in a day and age where everything is quick access, just order fast food, what do we need to do to go back? What steps, practical steps, we can start taking to go back to that? And we'll have that conversation and also have dessert right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Africa in Business on Channel Africa.
The United States was very vocal at the beginning of South Africa's G20 presidency, and this is largely due to strained relations with South Africa at the time, that they were not really keen on participating. Where do they stand right now?
The U.S. is planning to take over the presidency of the G20 next year, and our understanding from them is that they intend to continue to do so, and therefore it is quite difficult then to be in a situation where you are not attending deputies' meetings or discussions during our presidency and then to take over the presidency next year. From a finance track perspective, there has been engagement. We've been working on a communique last week and this week here in Zimbabwe. What's important about that is that it's a consensus document. And so all the members in the room have to agree to the language that is used there. And our US colleagues have been part of those discussions and negotiations.
Bringing the African markets into your home. Channel Africa, the African perspective. We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are the upside.
All right, it's 10 minutes before 2 p.m. Central African time. We're still hanging out with Chef Noni. Chef, we were asking the question, how can we go back to a time when we used to respect the ingredients, respect what we put into our body, a time that allowed us to connect with the food we are cooking and eating, as opposed to just buying it from a fast food drive-through and going home eating and then feeling worse off. And we're wondering, why am I feeling so worse? Why am I feeling so heavy? Why am I feeling so bloated? but it's because of what we are feeding ourselves on the daily. How can we go back? Give us these practical steps, especially for the younger generation who may not have grown up fully embracing it, and they wandered away from the parents and now got into this fast-paced life. How can we go back?
Sure. Thank you for such an important question. So, what I always say is, have you met the land? You know, have you met the land that nourishes you, that holds you? The land that is holding all these buildings that's holding you as you walk.
Yeah.
Meet the land. That's where every food comes from the land. If it's not from the land, then it is not for your body.
Wow.
If it is processed in a lab and it is there on the shelf and it has not touched soil and felt the rains and the sun, it is not for your body. Because ultimately the gift that you carry inside of you wants to be held in a body that knows, and a body that is healing, that is healthy, so that it can deliver. I mean, you are here today delivering this beautiful interview because the body and the land is intact, and you are feeding it what it needs. Ultimately, it will go wrong if you keep feeding the land what it does not eat. The same way we throw plastic into the ground, the same plastic you put into your body is killing the body. Imagine the journey of your food. First, before you buy anything, when you walk into a store, please ask yourself, where did it come from?
Yeah.
First, start by the land. Who grew the food?
Yeah.
In what mindset were they in? Are they doing a job, or are they really into this thing? The person that packed it, that transported it, and then packed it again and put it on your shelf. And here you are taking all of this energy. If we were to re-look at food, not just as just food because you're hungry, but as energy, as life, as spirit, we would do things much more differently, because the food that we're eating right now in a shelf has no spirit. The food that has life is the one where you get to feel the ground and touch and pick. If you do not have access to that, at least imagine the journey of the food and give thanks and say, I am really grateful that I'm able to have this food today. May it nourish my body instead. We used to have a prayer back home, my great-grandmothers taught us a prayer. And what I remember from the prayer was, uxhasa umzimba nomphefumulo. Uxhasa umzimba nomphefumulo is a powerful spell that, please, connect mind and body and spirit. Keep them together. We forgot that prayer. We don't do that anymore. And if we could remember that, and if we could remember the land that is holding us, so much is happening. The rains, the environment is changing. It's not growing the food properly anymore. We're putting seeds that are not okay in the ground anymore. It's like putting artificial stuff in your body. What will happen to you? There are side effects, and also the land is going through the same side effects. We're putting dirty stuff into the land, and also we are selling sacred food in dirty spaces. As African people, have you seen African markets, what they look like? There is dirt everywhere, but if you go and buy the food that has no energy or spirit at all, is on a shiny shelf, and it's beautiful and it's shiny, but it has nothing for you. It has nothing for you. The food that woman grew gets to have a little stand like this, and there is water that is running that is dirty, and there's everyone stabbing. Like, have you been to the Joburg CBD? Can I tell you that the majority of our food, our sacred ancestors are sitting in dirty places? I call these ancestors. This is spirit, it's life, it's food.
Right.
They are sitting in spaces where you can't walk there and just buy. You have to really pray and ask. So if we can just a small step of find land, find ground, grow a seed, take a seed and make sure it's clean and put it into the land and watch that single seed grow and say thank you for growing. Water it, give it sunshine. That's exactly what you're supposed to do with your bodies. Slow down. Slow down, because we're moving too fast and we're moving far away from ourselves and from the land. We're moving away from who we really are. As African people, there isn't anything between us. We are We're strangers when we see each other. And the only thing I know that can connect us is the food. Imagine bringing African people and they all coming to sit. They will recognize something from their home and say, I'm home. That is why the name of my company is called Noni's Home Dish. So home is supposed to remind us of home, to feel at home even when you're far away from your own home. So if we could put love back into the food and know where your food is coming from, literally insist on seeing the chef. Insist on saying, I want to see the chef that cooked my food today, that is nourishing me. I want to just come and say hello and check in and say, hi chef, how are you doing? Are you okay? You know, there's a lot that happens, and it changes a lot with the energy of the food as well. You're receiving life instead because you are recognizing the person that prepared and is nourishing the land. So it's a big story. I would love to one day share it, and these are the stories I tell when I cook for people in my home, is that we need to slow down. We need to slow down and watch the seed grow. Look how the seed will wait for everything to be in the right order for it to start sprouting. It doesn't just poof. No, it knows the process. It knows that it must wait for everything under the soil, everything on top of the soil. It must wait for the sun and the rain so that it can really bring out all of this. So there's a big story. Listen to the story of the food. That's all I can't tell you now, go and be vegan and do that. No, it's not practical. Find out what the source, where the source is. Who is the source? And the more we close our borders down, the more we disconnect with the food, because we are African people. Every food in the continent is ours. It is indigenous to this land, to our bodies. It is ours. And if we are going to say, oh no, I'm not from Nigeria, I will not touch Nigerian food, or I'm not from Ethiopia, I will not eat injera. You are robbing yourself of life. You're robbing yourself of knowing your people, of getting to know the land, because our people are our ancestors too. They are the spirits that we are made of.
That's true. But you talk about, and I love that point around, you can't just tell people to shift their diets, because the diet is actually the last phase of healing.
That's right.
People do it takes. Okay, we'll have this conversation another day. But it takes years.
Yes.
Years and years of very hard shadow work before you get to the food. But that's a story for another day. Noni, this is just love in its purest form. Like, I want to take the scent and just wear it. It's healing. It really is healing. And you talk about the vibration of the person and how it comes into the food, and then the next person needs to eat it. And that's such an important conversation. Also, we're feeding young children, that are also growing. So that conversation is really big and vast and very important. We love you. We love the food. We're going to taste the dessert. So before we taste it, in literally 10 seconds, what's in it before we taste it and let it
dessert.
Go?
So dessert is finger millet, sorghum flour that is roasted. I roasted it with cacao and a little bit of chili.
Ceremonial.
Right? And it is also seasoned with coconut blossom sugar, so it's not going to kill you, right? And then I cooked it as a custard, like umdogo. So I call it a custard because umdogo doesn't sound so fancy. So it is a custard. It is a custard. And then I've got a barley coffee, also coming from Ethiopia. So it's barley that's roasted, and I turned it into a coffee, and I cooked it with macadamia milk as well. And then we have a chocolate sauce that's made from peach blossoms, tamarind, and cacao, and strawberries, as well as coconut and egusi. So shout out East Africa. Shout out Africa.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Okay, we have to let you go, but we're going to tell everybody where they can find you on social media. If you'd like to create sacred space, I know I want to do that. Come and visit your lovely garden and we can eat. But Chef Noni, thank you very much for sharing your medicine with us. It was such an honor to perceive you this afternoon. Such a gift. Thank you. It's 2 p.m. in Central African time. Let's cross straight to the news desk.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Top stories: Asawa, Botswana says it's making progress in distributing medicines, and Poland says its airspace has been repeatedly violated. Good afternoon, I'm Jolani Tulo Webe. The Botswana government says progress has been made in getting medicines to different parts of the country. This after President Tebogo declared that the state of public health emergency 2 weeks ago. This followed reports of a shortage of medicines and medical equipment in public hospitals and clinics. The press secretary to Botswana's President Mmatsheko elaborates.
Government took swift and strategic action to make sure that the public is provided with those critical medicines and medical commodities from the capital city to the furthest part of this country, the likes of Maun, Kasane, towards the border of Zimbabwe and the border of Namibia. Medicine and medical commodities have already arrived. They were in Kasane, and the situation can be said to be stabilizing. There wasn't any medical commodity or medicine that was missing in Kasane.
Officials say towns affected by Congo's latest Ebola outbreak have erected checkpoints to restrict population movements. This has cases increased slightly, and aid workers warned that the response was underfunded. The Democratic Republic of Congo's health ministry last week declared the country's first Ebola outbreak in 3 years, with 28 suspected cases and 15 deaths. The World Health Organization said last week that Congo had a stockpile of treatments as well as 2,000 doses of Avebo vaccine that would be transported to Kasai to vaccinate contacts and frontline health workers. Several aid workers have voiced concern that Congo could struggle to mount an effective response this time, given recent cuts to foreign assistance and the dismantling of the U.S. Agency for International Development under President Donald Trump. South Africa's Deputy Minister of Employment and Labour, Tebogo says the sentencing of 7 Chinese nationals found guilty on charges related to kidnapping and forced labour is a victory for the department. The 7 have been sentenced to 20 years imprisonment by the High Court in Johannesburg. The case followed a 2019 Hawks raid on a factory in Village Deep, where illegal immigrants, including Maoris, were found working under inhumane conditions. Sibia says the sentencing sends a strong message that labour-related matters will now be taken seriously.
People are going to know that if you disregard the laws of this republic, we are going straight to jail. But beyond that, it is sending a message to anyone who wants to come to this country, coming from different countries, want to come to this country and do as they wish. That era has ended. The era of impunity, where owners of different companies come to South Africa to invest at the expense of our people, but also to bring in people from outside the country illegally.
South Africa's government has called for collective support from citizens for children and teenagers living with cancer. The health department says childhood cancer is a major health concern worldwide, with the World Health Organization reporting around 400,000 new cases each year. The department spokesperson Foster Mohale says according to the National Cancer Registry, leukemia is the most frequently diagnosed childhood cancer in the country.
We know if we are able to pick the cancer, cervical cancer in early stages, we are able to treat it. If we are able to pick up breast cancer in the
We do apologize for that incorrect soundbite. And finally, Poland's military says the country's airspace has repeatedly been violated by drones during Russian attacks on targets in Ukraine. It says operations are being carried out to identify and in its words, neutralize such drones, adding that some have been shot down. The BBC's Sarah Rainsford has the details.
Donald Tusk says there were multiple violations of Polish airspace overnight. The armed forces say weapons were used as it seems several Russian drones were shot down. It isn't clear yet what damage they may have caused. This all happened during the latest Russian attack across Ukraine. The air raid here began before midnight, with warnings of at least 100 drones in the air and of Russia preparing missiles for launch. Then the online channels that Ukrainians watch reported several of those drones crossing into Poland. They began writing in Polish, warning people there to take cover.
Recapping the top story this hour, the Botswana government says progress has been made in getting medicines to different parts of the country. This after President Tebogo declared a public health emergency 2 weeks ago. For any news stories you would like to share with us, please do send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I'm Jolani Tulo-Webe.
SABC News. the African perspective.
Well, it's 7 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome to the second hour of The Upside on Channel Africa, the African perspective with Tebogo Lekhuleni and Mmatsheko Mosito. I tell you what, my goodness me, the food we've been eating today, vegan African cuisine. And I said earlier during the show, I said, it's going to take a lot to, convert me, turn me over to even consider vegan food, plant-based. I prefer my meat. Give me meat. But this was delicious. Chef Noni really, really came through to the party and allowed us to look at food in a different way, to celebrate what is grown in the land and allow us to reflect when we're eating. The next time you eat, don't just eat. Find out, where did this food come from? What journey did it take to get to me? Are we feeding ourselves with food that nourishes our spirits, our bodies? Or are we just eating food that just makes us feel full and doesn't really give us the benefits and the nutrients that we need? Great conversation. If you'd like to revisit that conversation, go to www.channelafrica.co.za. Alternatively, check out our live platforms at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. In this hour, we talk about the importance of insurance during the festive season. Now, whether it is car insurance, household insurance, we need to be having these conversations, right? Life insurance. During this festive season, we are traveling, we are on the road, we are seeing family, we are everywhere, right? And we want to talk about the importance of ensuring that you are insured in the event of something happening, stolen, whatever the case may be. Are you insured? If you look at your car right now, is it insured, the one you are driving? Household goods, are they insured? If someone were to break in right now, would you be able to claim for insurance? Hey, we talk about all things insurance in this hour. It's 10 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome to the golden hour of The Upside.
Es-tu préoccupé par quelque chose? Es-tu passionné par les questions qui comptent? As-tu une voix qui mérite d'être entendue? Eh bien, nous avons la plateforme parfaite pour toi. Téléphone-nous ou fais-nous un WhatsApp au +27 66 408 87 42 et nous te rappellerons. Sois dans la conversation.
Salut Channel Africa, ici Beno le diamant rouge et Binal Export depuis le Cameroun, le pays des lions. Voilà.
Sois dans la conversation. Il ne s'agit pas seulement de parler, mais c'est ta chance d'exprimer ton point de vue, de partager tes opinions et de t'engager avec une communauté qui valorise ton avis. Suivez-nous sur les réseaux sociaux, visitez notre site www.channelafrica.co.za et préparez-vous à partager vos points de vue sur Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
Here well, here well, here well, here well, here well, kumba, 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 here well, kumba, 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 here well, kumba, 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 here well. Sfuna stash, asfuna mamita, asfuna mabita, asfuna makumba, sonke, asfuna makumba, wele.
Minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time. Kadier, is that his name? Kadier, featuring PKMZ and Keita. The song's name is Magumba. It's one of those songs we were saying earlier actually a couple of weeks ago, we were saying that, no, man, there are certain songs on social media that are just trendy for that particular hook, that particular chorus.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only thing you can relate to. But if you listen to the whole song, like, no, man, just get to that part, Magumba is not one of those. Magumba, from the very start, from the very beginning of the song, you are hooked.
It's
right
igniting.
up until the end. It is.
Totally.
You know what? They did a thing there. Let's talk about the importance of insurance during the festive season. We were talking about it earlier, that we will be traveling in the festive season. You'll be away from home. Have you insured your household goods? Have you insured your car? Have you insured your life? Your voice? If you are Mmatsheko and you speak for a living, have you insured your voice? These are important conversations that we need to have. And a lot of people still till this day think, insurance are scams. I don't need insurance. They're a scam. Until once upon a time, and I'll talk about a light issue, where my screen, I can't remember what happened to this was my phone. It was on contract. And my screen, something happened. I think I dropped it or something like that. And the screen actually broke. Not the screen protector, but the screen actually broke. And I took it in to get it fixed because it was insured, and it cost me way less than if I had taken out cash to pay it out of insurance.
Right.
So it came through, and on that particular day, it came through, and I was like, I'm very happy about this. Thank you so much. That 50-80 rand that I pay extra a month towards insurance went a long way to ensuring that my phone gets fixed. And this is important. Are you insured? Do you also subscribe to that? No, insurance is a scam. You know, there are people who are driving without insurance.
Oh, there's a whole lot. I think we will be shocked by the statistics. I don't know the statistics, but I guarantee it.
It's horrible.
Chances are will really be, it's scary how many people are driving without insurance. But I guess the conversation then can take the angle around using insurance to empower yourself. Don't see it as a means to, you've got to pay every month. How can you actually use insurance to your advantage? You're the one that's paying for it. Absolutely. And, and I know it can get a bit disheartening if you've been insuring for 10 years and you're not claiming. And, how can you use insurance to empower yourself? Because it is a necessity. And I think in this day and age, with so many road accidents, with so many house break-ins and all of that, you need this information. So we're going to be catching up with Australian insurance, somebody from Australian insurance market, that is Senzologuhle Dlomo is going to be joining us. He is an insurance advisor, and we really are going to unpack this fruitfully so that you walk away feeling empowered.
Absolutely. That conversation will be coming up next. It's 19 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. We'll be talking about the importance of insurance during the festive season. Don't go anywhere.
Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
Mozambique's opposition leader Venancio Mondlane has been charged with incitement to terrorism and disobedience. He faces a total of 5 charges. The charges relate to post-election violence that left hundreds of people dead. What punishment is he looking at?
The most severe charges are 2. One is incitement for terrorism, and also is being charged for mobilizing people for terrorism during the protests. These charges are really serious and severe. If he is condemned, is found guilty, he could serve 10 years plus years in jail, meaning that he would be banned from political participation, mainly for the 2028 and 2029 electoral cycle.
The director of CDD, the Center for Democracy and Development, Adriano Novunga.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. Your afternoons just got even better, fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from an African perspective.
20 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. Now, joining us all the way from the Australian insurance market is Senzelokuhle Dlomo, an insurance advisor who will be unpacking why insurance is particularly important for Africans during the festive season. Senzelokuhle, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the Upside. Let's talk about the festive season, right? It's a time when we are traveling, we're going to see family, we're going on holiday, we're spending more. Why is it especially important now during that season to get our insurance affairs in order?
Oh, thank you so much for having me on the show. Indeed, that is a very relevant question because looking at now that we're going to the festive season, we're traveling, we're spending more.
Yeah.
And imagine now you're coming back home and it's house to let. After you've spent everything. The only money that you're left with, it is just money for petrol and the Mampara week. And you don't have a bed, you don't have a TV, you don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have anything. So that's where the insurance then comes into play because it protects you against such things, even though it isn't there to physically protect you against the criminals and so forth and fight the battle. But it is there to make sure that it puts you back into the exact same financial position you were in before loss.
It is a necessity. It is, and I was saying, my thought around the conversation is really how we can use insurance as an empowerment tool. But perhaps before we answer that question in depth, Senzelokuhle, let's talk about just the types of really essential insurance at this time of the year. Car being one of them, household, what other things fall under the umbrella of essential insurance at this time?
At this time, you're looking at basically your car insurance, one of them, of course, your home insurance. I know when we're speaking of your home insurance, you're thinking, let me say building insurance. So I'm sure we've seen instances before social media whereby guys just pull through in a buggy, pull up in reverse, and they just load the gate onto that half truck. And you wake up one morning, you don't have your gate or you don't have your geyser.
These are real things.
Correct. You would wake up. I remember this other time we woke up and our aluminum window, the frame was actually cut. Wow. And they didn't have to even break the window this time around, but they had to just cut the aluminum frame to gain access into the house so that they could steal the contents. So now the contents would be your furniture, everything that would fall off if we were to, turn the house upside down.
Yeah.
So that would be your TV, your bed, your microwave, your Smeg refrigerator, your Smeg kettle, your toaster, everything, you name it. So basically, it is essential, particularly to have insurance for those at this period, because as you will be out on a holiday, these guys are also not sleeping. They're also on their own shopping spree. And, they might just decide to make a stop at your house.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I love how he's making light of the situation.
No, but this is how it happens.
People are traumatized. People are actually traumatized. The sense of out here laughing about it like this. But no, let's talk about. No, I love the fact that you're making light of it because we need to raise awareness of the importance of this. Let's talk about the importance of travel insurance, Senzelokuhle, because we will be traveling, we are flying, we are doing all these amazing things. Travel insurance is not something that a lot of people talk about. The significance, perhaps, of travel insurance.
Correct. And, it is great that you're bringing this one up because it is a conversation that we hardly ever have because it isn't, it is not even stored even at the back of our minds as to anything could go wrong. We're just thinking as long as the plane doesn't crash, we are okay. But hey, it's a lot of things that may just make that holiday a Jet 2 holiday. So, with the travel insurance, so your travel insurance basically covers you for foreign countries, for medical assistance, lost or theft of luggage and personal injury or death for you to be covered for, repatriation of your body in the event of death. Of course, touch wood. So basically, that's what travel insurance covers. I mean, I remember going through social media at some point, and I came across this other lady who was expressing how important this is. Of course, we know what's the burning issue right now in the current affairs, with hospitals not being able to accommodate foreign nationals who are not documented.
Yeah.
And. So this lady unfortunately came across a situation whereby she was not catered for at all. She had the documents, she had everything, but she was not being catered for. And thankfully, she had travel insurance on her side, of which covered all the medical expenses as she fell sick, something that she never really anticipated. So having things like your travel insurance or car insurance or home and contents insurance, in my own thinking, it is more like having a fire extinguisher in your car. You're never really gonna use it, but chances are when you really do need to use it, you thank heavens that you have it in your car.
So important. And just on that note, to elaborate on some of the other common mistakes that we are making as people when it comes to insurance, particularly during the holiday season.
Yeah. Well, this one, it is indeed one of those that comes, if I can put it this way, it happens during the holiday season. It is at its peak during the holiday season, right? However, it's very common also throughout the year, be it South Africa, be it Australia, be it UK. I've worked in all these countries that I've mentioned, by the way, right? And I've noticed the trends. So people just tend to make sure that they're always looking for cheap insurance, of which is why most of the time you would find insurance companies advertising those low premiums, of which is understandable because people really want to save. However, during the festive season, people just make this mistake. Like, I don't know, it's like they tell each other about it, right? So looking for the cheapest insurance and you forget about the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
So you find yourself looking for the cheapest thing you can find and you don't ask the relevant questions. And come claim stage from your side, you go from pillar to post, you're getting all these stories and you're hoping that, comments on the social media or a story time on TikTok is going to help you out. And at the end of the day, you agreed over the recorded line and you were looking for the cheapest thing and therefore you were given cheap. It's like you would come across a person who would tell you that I've got a friend who drives the same Golf 7 GTI and he lives in Cape Town and he's paying 1,000 rands, for an example, for the same GTI. However, you are speaking, or the person who's making these claims is, a gentleman who is a bachelor, who lives somewhere in Gauteng, perhaps, make an example, and he's got a code 10 license for a light vehicle and is driving a light vehicle, like a code B kind of a vehicle. And at the end of the day, hasn't had insurance history, because insurance history also helps you get good premiums, right? So you find him saying that I know somebody who drives the same vehicle, make, model, and year, and pays lower. One thing that they may be forgetting is that person, number one, may have not been driving for the same period as, them. They may have not been driving for, or rather they've had insurance policies before, like contents insurance, because that also may help you get better deals. Like getting yourself covered for your contents, it helps you build your insurance history, which may work at your advantage when you're looking for car insurance. There's quite a number of underwriting factors that are taken into consideration. However, you and the next person will never get the exact same premium. So therefore, it isn't something that I would do to look for the cheapest, especially when I'm looking for peace of mind, because peace of mind and cheap, they don't really go hand in hand.
Not at all. Senzo Lokuhle, thank you so much for your time this afternoon and for sharing important insights, or shining a light on an important matter, which is insurance during the festive season. If you don't have, please consider getting it, right? For your car, for your household, for travel as well. Travel insurance, something that we often overlook. But Senzo Lokuhle, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Senzo Lokuhle Dlomo, an insurance advisor, telling us about the importance of insurance during the festive season. It's 30 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. Fix Lingwati, what's happening in the world of sports?
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
With what's happening, let's start off with basketball. We'll go to cricket and then we'll talk about golf. Greece used their tried and true formula of riding Giannis Antetokounmpo, and it worked yet again in fighting past Lithuania in 87-76 in the FIBA Eurobasket 2025 quarterfinals to reach their first semifinal since 2009. Antetokounmpo poured in 29 points, and Greece managed to withstand the boisterous 10,000 fans at Arena Riga, a large majority of whom were Letuva supporters. After failing to advance past the quarterfinals in 4 of the last 5 Eurobaskets, Greece finally broke through and will face Turkey for a spot in the final. Now, cricket news. South Africa have put their shocking ODI defeat against England behind them. This is according to Captain Aiden Markram as they prepare to face the host in a 3-match T20 International Series which gets underway in Cardiff tonight. The Proteas won the ODI Series 2-1 last week, but they were thumped by 342 runs in the final match in Southampton. Switching formats, Markram insisted they had shaken that off and were ready to go in the T20 series as they looked to bounce back against England after being handed a 2-1 defeat by Australia in a 3-match T20 series last month.
Yeah, for sure. The last one was just one of those bad days, I guess. So, generally, as a white ball group, feeling in a pretty decent space and another exciting series ahead. That starts pretty much where all the conversations and focus has been.
Markram says they are not underestimating the England T20 squad, and also they're not complacent.
Yeah, always a good team, always. Never going to play against England and it's going to be an easy game, so expecting it to be a really good challenge for us. Again, they've won heaps of white ball tournaments and sort of were the trendsetters at a stage, so looking forward to the series, to facing them and sort of their strengths that they bring to the table and sort of seeing where we are as a team against a really good opposition.
On to netball. Netball South Africa NSA acting president Mmadiale, who is contesting the federation's presidency in the upcoming elections on the 25th of October, says NSA has built strong structures around the baby Proteas preparations and is confident they have done enough to ready the team for the global stage. Diale says a lot has been put in for the baby Proteas.
We invested so much to the team. We had a bigger group at the beginning, and we had to cut down the numbers. So we gave the coaches more time to focus, on a smaller group of the team. And we are definitely behind the coaches to say, go out there, represent us well. We are in full support, and we're just asking for South Africa to also support them.
And finally, golf news. Xander Schauffele is not at the Pro-Co Championship in Napa, California, with the rest of the United States Ryder Cup teammates in order to be at home in Florida with his newborn son. The rest of the U.S. team is in Northern California this week to squeeze in a final competition before the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black in Farmingdale, New York, from the 26th to the 28th of September. Even Bryson DeChambeau, who is ineligible for the PGA Tour events due to his contract with Live Golf, said he would make the trip to Napa to bond with his teammates. However, Schauffele confirmed that he chose to remain in Florida after his wife Maya recently gave birth to a boy, the couple named Victor. Schauffele clinched his spot on the Ryder Cup team with a tie for the 22nd at the FedEx St. Jude Championship on the 10th of August. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Figile Lingwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. This September, Channel Africa celebrates Heritage Month, a time to honor the stories, the rhythms, and the languages that make us who we are. Whether you're in Lagos or the shores of Zanzibar, to the mountains of Lesotho or the markets of Dakar, we are united in diversity.
Najivunia kuwa Mwafrika.
Kukondolera Afrika ndiye ndu wake.
Proudly African and fabulous.
Let us preserve our languages. Let's embrace our uniqueness. Let's embrace our cultures and celebrate the beauty of our continent. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Call us on +27 63 406 9126
and contribute to the conversation.
36 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. Let's find out how the markets are moving. Nosipo Zuma is standing by.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Tebogo. Good afternoon. In your business news this hour, Ghana's economy has expanded by 6.3% year-on-year in the second quarter of 2025. Now, the country statistics agency says that the services sector, encompassing finance, insurance, trade, and education, surged by 9.9% in the quarter compared to 2% a year earlier. 9-all GDP rose 7.8%, boosting growth, while agriculture expanded and oil contracted. The gold, oil, and cocoa producing nation is emerging from its most severe economic crisis in decades. Zambia's High Court has ruled that Standard Chartered does not have to pay a $500,000 compensation to a former client that sold a now defaulted Chinese property bond to at the height of the Asian country's real estate crisis. The court judgment has ruled that the bank had not broken any local laws by selling the bond in 2022. Zambia's Securities and Exchange Commission sanctioned London-listed Standard Chartered over the issue back in January for breaching two of Standard Chartered's rules. U.S. retailer Walmart will launch its first branded stores in South Africa this year. Now, the move by Walmart, which already owns a South African retail group, Massmart, places it in direct competition with established domestic retailers, including market leader ShopRite, Woolworths, and Pick n Pay. Online, it will be going head-to-head with Amazon and market leader Takealot. Nissan is considering a rollout of hybrid cars that use its e-power technology in South Africa as a way to help drivers move from petrol engines towards electric vehicles. Low income and high import duties have long hampered manufacturers' efforts to sell more cars in Africa, with patchy power access and a lack of sufficient charging infrastructure posing additional hurdles for EV adoption on the continent. Now, Nissan has already launched hybrids in Morocco, Egypt, and Tunisia that run on the e-power system, which the company thinks could also be popular among South African drivers. And finally, U.S. President Donald Trump has called on the European Union to hit China and India with tariffs of up to 100% to force Russia President Vladimir Putin to end the war in Ukraine. He made these demands during a meeting between the U.S. and EU officials on Tuesday, discussing options to increase economic pressure on Russia. Trump, who previously pledged to end the conflict on day one of becoming president, is struggling to broker a peace deal between Moscow and Kyiv, and Russia's strikes on Ukraine have intensified. Your financial indicators: $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 506, and Botswana it's 13 pula 21. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 39, and in Zambia it's 23 kwacha 89. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 43. Russia is 83 rubles 24. India is 88 rupees 44. China at 7.12, and in South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 50. $1 is trading at 74 pence to the British pound and 85 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $3,642 and platinum at $1,385 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $66.92 a barrel. Now, for any business news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Mosito Suma.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Mmatsheko Mosito and Tebogo Lekhuleni on the upside.
Superstar Momatala, Favali Mukala, Gatumansa Dola, Ukakasanya Singa, Temuba para passe, para passe, para passe.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
45 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time. Uga Boys there with the song is titled Kuchakala from Gambia. Isn't Gambia like the smallest country in Africa.
It
by
is,
size.
isn't
It's a
it?
tiny, tiny little country. That one.
Yeah, actually.
But they've got some good music there.
They got big
from
music, yes.
Big music from that tiny country. All right, it's time for What Caught Your Eye? All right, something rather tragic caught my eye. And I'm even sad to talk about it. I really am sad to talk about it. Because yesterday, in Mamelodi East in Pretoria, there was a hostage situation that unfolded where a 32-year-old police constable held hostage his 69-year-old mother and his 18-year-old nephew. Negotiations took over 16 hours. Police were trying to de-escalate the situation. And yeah, it was a rather sad one. So over 16 hours of negotiations, trying to get him to release, the mother and the nephew. He had a gun with him. His name is Constable Tapelo Mmasheho. And it was around 8 o'clock in the morning when this situation unfolded. And throughout the day, the South African Police Service negotiators and Special Task Force members worked to try and defuse the situation. By 11 p.m., they had successfully secured the release of the mother, who was then treated by paramedics and taken to hospital. And just before midnight, as negotiators were still engaging with Tapelo, Constable, 2 gunshots were heard from inside the house. Once officers entered, they discovered the constable had died, committed suicide, and that his 18-year-old nephew was also dead from gunshot wounds. Authorities have now opened a case for murder, kidnapping, and discharging a firearm, and informed the Independent Police Investigative Directorate to conduct further investigations. It's bringing again to question the mental health of our police, the supports that they receive within the departments. Were the police themselves well equipped to handle that negotiation situation? And is it perhaps a time for us to have a conversation around a police officer, once you knock off after work, leave your service rifle at work, and then you can go home and get it the next day? But some may also say, but when you're a police officer, you're a police officer 24/7. You're a police officer 24/7. How do we go about eliminating such stories? Because not the first time, and it's a rather tragic end, what happened yesterday in Pretoria. What do you think? Should we start enforcing stricter rules on how police are able to use their own guns in their personal capacities?
It's possibly a solution. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But having had a conversation with a medical doctor around, people that do this kind of work, that are constantly being of service to humanity, whether they're in the police service, whether they are paramedics, medical professionals. I got a sense from that conversation, and it's changed my thinking forever. Just in terms of how our physical bodies are holding trauma. And trauma that we smile through it. You go home, there's more problems to deal with, even if you were to leave your rifle at the police station, there are other rifles that await you in the homestead, whatever they may look like, whether it's arguments with the wife, whether it's a delinquent child, whether it's just not having enough, whatever that may look like. But they're all, the human condition, and I think also in living in urban areas has just messed with people and our levels of awareness. I mean, all you've got to do is just sit across from people and listen to how they just conduct themselves. And it indicates to you that we are holding so much trauma. We don't even know what to do with it. So I can imagine, I can only imagine. Honestly, I have no level of being able to perceive this correctly and accurately because, I'm not a police officer, but I can only imagine and sympathize with having to go to work every day and you're seeing people, cases, shot dead, domestic violence, some of the most gruesome crimes just to use South Africa as an example, happen here in our country. And to be able to see that every day, and then you're also sleep deprived, you're nutrient deprived, you're love deprived, you're just deprived. How are you supposed to be a functional, normal human being under those kinds of circumstances? So perhaps an overhaul of the entire system and how we nurture that career and nurture the people that work in those careers is another conversation altogether. But oh my goodness, good luck to us, in starting that process, because that's a whole other level of awareness.
Absolutely. No. Psychological and mental well-being are aspects that really need to take center stage, especially when you're in that kind of career. Not just police, we're talking about paramedics, doctors, they see so much. But it's 8 minutes before 3 p.m. Central African time. We'll continue with what caught your eye right after this.
The Upside, taking the African perspective to fresh levels. Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay logged right here. The Upside, 1 to 4 p.m. Central African Time. With Tebogo Lekhuleni and Mosito. Only on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
8 minutes before 3 p.m. Central African Time. Let's continue with what caught your eye. Mmatsheko, what caught your eye?
I feel like I had to take a deep breath after that story. That was heavy.
That was a heavy one,
But also on a lighter note, and also just a follow-up in terms of our conversation that we had with Chef Nonhlanhla, who was in studio and sharing her delicious vegan Earth Angel cuisine with us. I want to note another chef, Kenyan-based Gina Gichui. She embarked on a journey of independence, if we can call it that. So she's 26 years old. She's a Kenyan chef and food stylist. Gina Gichui embarked on a journey to secure her first independent living space amidst Nairobi's escalating living costs. So how did she do this? She opted to step out of the city's hustle and bustle and found a home in Kiambu, about an hour out of the city.
Okay.
This choice offered her more space, cleaner air, and proximity to local markets with affordable produce. And she was determined to manage her finances responsibly. I think that was the basis of this big decision. So Gina then set a budget of 25,000 shillings, Kenyan shillings, and then furnished her apartment gradually. And then she then went to family and friends. So she kind of found angel funders, if you could call it that, to help her as well. Despite compromises like being able to not, afford the fancy amenities of the city, sleeping on the floor and that sort of thing. It are some of the things that she had to sacrifice so that she can provide for herself a home. But I think this is a lovely story. Kind of just what we're talking about off air in terms of just step out of, operating from the three pillars of fear, of insecurity, and of ego. Get out of that if you are to find peace, happiness, and I love the word that you always use, and find your gift. You say that all the time. Find your gift. And her story is definitely testament to her resilience, to and she's teaching us that we're all adaptable. We really are all adaptable, and the only thing that's holding us back really is our attachment. Attachment is a disease, hey? Attachment to clothes, to stuff, to cars, to status, to lipsticks, to we're just attached.
Familiarity breeds security,
Can we
or a
detach?
sense of security. So.
Okay, well, I mean, if stuff is a sense of security, then we've got a long way to go. But listen, for me, I'm giving her a hero badge because she really, and also at the age of 26, that's very admirable. Because at that age, you're young, you're impressionable, you want to be sexy, you want to be out there, you want to be seen. And she's like, no, I actually want fresh air and good food and to be able to nurture myself from the inside out. So I listen, shout out. I think she's amazing.
We tip our African crown to her at this moment.
Yeah.
I tell you what, thank you for that light. What caught your eye? I'm still recovering from the first story.
Same.
Two things. I know it's past what caught your eye. Now I'm just sharing some things. You know what Walmart, you know,
the American chain,
what?
yeah?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
That one?
Yes.
What happened?
Yes.
What happened?
Walmart has announced plans to open its first branded stores in South Africa. Later this year, they'll share the dates. So now the stores that you've been seeing on television in those movies, Walmart, you're going to Walmart. You're going to see Walmart in South Africa as well. Do we need it? Personally, I don't.
No, what we need is more women like Gina who are, underscoring this broader thing that's happening with young people moving out of chain stores and whatnot, and really just finding peace and happiness out in the wild.
Fair
I know
enough.
you would support this. I mean, being
100%.
out in the wild and hiking,
of course,
restorative practice.
100%.
Get out of Walmart.
I will admit that the fact that, this is going to create employment, right? I think the silver lining, it's going to create employment. A high unemployment rate in South Africa. I'm guessing these chains of stores will create quite a bit of employment. And then another thing I wanted to talk about very quickly is yesterday we were right as the upside.
About Bafana.
We were right about Bafana. We were right.
Look at you. Like you literally the posture of your shoulders changed when you said that.
No. So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday I said, either Bafana are going to win or they're going to draw.
Yeah.
There was a strong sense that they were going to get a point yesterday. As it stands right now, after that victory, they've got 2 more games to go. Is it 2 more games? 1 or 2 more games to go. But anyway, right now, Group C, the table that they're in, they're number 1 with 17 points. Benin yesterday did the most. Benin did the most yesterday. And they're now on 14 points. Nigeria on 11 points. Rwanda on 11 points. Lesotho on 6 and Zimbabwe on 4. Suffice to say, I think South Africa are in a good position, and World Cup next year, we are going to be there. And what a historical, momentous moment that's going to be. Like we said, the significance of this, them qualifying for the World Cup, they have never qualified for a World Cup outside of hosting it in 2010 automatically. So this is quite the victory, and we say congrats to the boys. Well played yesterday, and we hope that we can seal the deal and see them in the World Cup.
What do you think it is? Is it prayers and people just throwing good vibes their way? Or is it hard work, or is it a combination?
It has to be a combination. I mean, yesterday it has to be a combination. I mean, home ground advantage, that's good. Fantastic. Well done to us. But also, Nigeria is playing a lot of international players. Players who are not really part of the Nigerian leagues. They're playing elsewhere. Not part of the league.
They're Nigerian by descent, but not by league.
Not part of the league. South Africa, they're playing players who are part of the leagues. They understand each other. They play with one another. They understand the energy and the flow, and the camaraderie is there. So that's why I think South Africa are doing the most. And that's why I firmly believe that they will qualify for the World Cup, which will be quite a historic moment. All right. It's 2 p.m. No, it's not. It's 3 p.m. Central African time. It's already 3 p.m. It's the final hour of the show. Jwalani Tulongwepe is standing by with the latest news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Top stories. Asawa, Botswana says it's making progress in distributing medicines, and global stakeholders urge to unite in defense of the rule of law. Good afternoon. The Botswana government says progress has been made in getting medicines to different parts of the country. This after President Tebogo declared the state of public health emergency 2 weeks ago. This followed reports of a shortage of medicines and medical equipment in public hospitals and clinics. The press secretary to Botswana's President Mmatsheko elaborates.
Government took swift and strategic action to make sure that the public is provided with those critical medicines and medical commodities from the capital city to the furthest part of this country, the likes of Maun, Kasane, towards the border of Zimbabwe and the border of Namibia. Medicine and medical commodities have already arrived. They were in Kasane, and the situation can be said to be stabilizing. There wasn't any medical commodity or medicine that was missing in Kasane.
Officials say towns affected by Congo's latest Ebola outbreak have erected checkpoints to restrict population movements. This as cases increased slightly, and aid workers warned that the response was underfunded. Democratic Republic of Congo's health ministry last week declared the country's first Ebola outbreak in 3 years, with 28 suspected cases and 15 deaths. The World Health Organization said last week that Congo had a stockpile of treatments as well as 2,000 doses of the Avebo vaccine that would be transported to Kasai to vaccinate contacts and frontline health workers. Several aid workers have voiced concern that Congo could struggle to mount an effective response this time, given recent cuts to foreign assistance and the dismantling of the U.S. Agency for International Development under President Donald Trump. South Africa's Deputy Minister of Employment and Labour, Tebogo says the sentencing of 7 Chinese nationals found guilty on charges related to kidnapping and forced labour is a victory for the department. The 7 have been sentenced to 20 years imprisonment by the High Court in Johannesburg. The case followed a 2019 Hawks raid on a factory in Village Deep, where illegal immigrants, including minors, were found working under inhumane conditions. Sibia says the sentencing sends a strong message that labour-related matters will now be taken seriously.
People are going to know that if you disregard the laws of this republic, we are going straight to jail. But beyond that, it is sending a message to anyone who wants to come to this country, coming from different countries, who want to come to this country and do as they wish. That era has ended. The era of impunity, where owners of different companies come to South Africa to invest at the expense of our people, but also to bring in people from outside the country illegally.
South Africa's government has called for collective support from citizens for children and teenagers living with cancer. The health department says childhood cancer is a major health concern worldwide, with the World Health Organization reporting around 400,000 new cases each year. The department spokesperson, Foster Mohale, says according to the National Cancer Registry, leukemia is the most frequently diagnosed childhood cancer in the country.
Raising awareness and promoting early detection are critical in improving survival rates and ensuring better treatment outcomes. Too many children and teenagers are either not diagnosed or are diagnosed too late. The department, together with its stakeholders, urge all citizens to become familiar with early warning signs of childhood cancer and to seek medical attention if any of the signs are observed.
South Africa's International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola has urged all global stakeholders to uphold international law and the UN Charter to unite in defense of the rule of law. This as he says the international law established after the Second World War is under severe threat as Israel continues its bombardment of Gaza. Lamola was briefing the Portfolio Committee on the country's Israel case at the ICJ and giving an update on progress to host the G20 summit in November. He says South Africa will continue to protect the rights of all people in conflict areas, including their fundamental right to life. Recapping the top story this hour. The Botswana government says progress has been made in getting medicines to different parts of the country. This after President Tebogo declared the state of public health emergency 2 weeks ago. For any news stories you would like to share with us, please do send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I'm Jolani Tulo Wepe.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
It is 6 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time. We've made it to the final hour of The Upside on Channel Africa, The African Perspective, with Tebogo Lekhuleni and Mmatsheko Mosito. We're coming to you live from the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. And you can join us and see our show. You can see it now on our social media platforms at Channel Africa on Facebook and YouTube, and at Channel Africa 1 on TikTok. Check out our lovely studio. If you'd like to revisit some of our conversations, go to www.channelafrica.co.za and click on our podcasts, not just The Upside, but the other shows as well. If you have DSTV, it's channel 802, OpenView channel 628, and as always, you can download that SABC Plus app on your Android or your iOS device so you can take us with you wherever you go. Final hour, final conversation, and it's an interesting one because it's got to do with sounds and effects and. Are you excited about that?
Listen, I love sound, so I'm very excited about that. But the way you describe it, yes, we are going to be delving deep into ASMR. Kind of what's that short for?
Yeah, let me find it for you. It's got something to do with autonomy. No,
Yeah.
it's not autonomy. No, there's the autonomous. There we go. Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Nice one.
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to get into the rhythm of that with Lindo Madlingozi, who's going to be joining us in studio, which is going to make the soothing and unique sonic experience worth it. Okay, so if you've just started watching the show, if you're watching us on YouTube or you're watching us on Facebook, it's going to be a treat for you. I definitely am going to learn a lot from this because soundscapes are just my favorite thing when especially to soothe and to self-soothe and calm. So tapping into this mindfulness kind of experience. This show today has actually been very healing. Healing the land.
Absolutely.
Healing our bodies.
Yep.
Now we're healing
Healing the mind.
other sensory.
And other sensories.
Right. And healing the
senses.
mind. Love it.
Tell you what, if you are sensory sensitive, it's worth noting, and we must put this disclaimer, that in this hour, we'll be exposed to quite a few sensory-inducing sounds. So if you are sensitive to that, you can either lower the volume, or we're not going to advise people don't listen to our show. Like, that's horrible.
You've got to listen. Just lower the volume.
Yeah, just lower the volume because you're going to be hearing sounds like. It's 10 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time.
You considered a career change. You're really good at this.
Is that calming, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. We're guessing that's a waterfall.
Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay logged right here. Got something to say? Are you passionate about issues that matter? Do you have a voice that deserves to be heard? Well, we've got the perfect platform for you. Call in or drop us a WhatsApp on +27 63 406 9126 and we will call you back so you could have your say and be part of the conversation.
30 years of age. I just turned 30 on the 15th of November. So yeah, that's who I am, you know.
It's not just talk, it's your chance to air your views, share your opinion, engage with the community that values your perspective. Follow us on our social media. Visit our website at www.channelafrica.co.za and get ready to share your views on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday, 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the whole country affected by gender-based violence. For all your favorite SABC radio stations, call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. Whatever you want to hear about today's talk, you can only get it on the Upside. Every weekday, 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time.
Fire, 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 fire. It's your boy, Ervinio, eh. Like boy. Eh. Gringa, 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 eh. Fire, 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 fire. Baby, shake your waist. Get it, show me the way. Gringa, 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 eh. Fire, 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 fire. C'est pas du tout compliqué. Bouge le waist sur mon tempo, eh. Baby, coco loco. I show you my coco loco. Dance color. You making me color. Hey, baby, coco loco. I show you my shoko. Baby, do it my boy. Now dance my coco loco. Ah, coco loco. Ah, coco loco. On se fatigue pas, c'est du coco loco. Ah, coco loco. Oh yeah, ah, coco loco. Coco loco. Na patina hot, coco loco. Coco loco. Ah, coco loco. De l'homme à baby, coco loco. Dancing, coco loco. USA to London, coco loco. Waste. Baka coco, give me vibe hot, eh. Sweetie face, original nyasho, eh. Fine girl, eh. Do that thing, do your thing, eh. Fine girl, why you do your thing, oh yeah, baby coco loco. I show you my coco loco. Dance color. You making me color, hey. Baby coco loco. I show you my shoko. Baby do it my boy. Now dance my coco loco. Ah, coco loco. Ah, coco loco. Naja baby, now dance in the coco loco. Ah, coco loco. Oh yeah, ah, coco loco. Coco loco. Na patina hot to coco loco. Ibe, coco loco. Kenya baby, you kill him, my coco loco. The bitch à Paris, coco loco. And dancing, my coco loco. Tanzania, Uganda, coco loco. Opa, coco. Danse le coco loco. Waist, va sur le côté, coco loco. Le remis terrain, coco loco. Oh y'a son polonia chaud, coco loco. Oh you shake your waist, coco loco. Big monster.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
DJ I'm on my way to you. The time is on. chance to choose. Here we go. Like every other superhero. My weakness is love. I don't do it for the medals. Cause no me without us. Peace stands for the people. So I be on my way. Whenever you think you need to. 1, 2, 3. I'll be. I'll be.
It's 17 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African time. Spin All there coming through with Oma Lay and Tyler with a song called One Call. And before that, we had Kokoloko by Rivenio. Beautiful music, a double play there coming to you from the Upside this afternoon. It's the final hour of the show. And, we are getting ready for some, shall we call it, sensory stimulation. ASMR, you may have heard it, you may have seen it on your social media platforms, right? Some people respond favorably to such sound and, stimuli. Some people not, others not. Because we're chatting with Ululu Gabu earlier. And by the way, ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. Okay. And if you've watched TikTok, you may have seen people having that as a hashtag, or that's what they would title the whole video. And it's basically them making sounds and effects, right? Getting that mic super close to them, right? And then they're whispering, right? So that it can stimulate your senses. It can calm you down. And then so that you can calm down and relax and all these things. I was talking to Lulu earlier, and off air we were saying, these things are not for us. Me and Lulu are like, we get a bit freaked out when we hear it. It doesn't really calm us down. But you are of a different sense when it comes to this. You actually enjoy these ASMR videos.
No, I actually haven't paid attention to them, although I'm very, very, very excited to explore this with Lindo Guhle, because I need to understand how ASMR can help me to get better sleep, because I am on a self proclaimed PhD course, and I'm going to write a dissertation on this one day on becoming a professional sleeper. I want to be a professional sleeper. I want to be the best sleeper. I want to really make sure that, listen, my pillow at night is full of drool, which means that my brain is functional, and I'm deep in sleep and restful. So I actually would love to find out the benefits of this particular relaxation system, as it were, and how it can benefit sleep. But of course, beyond the sleep, there are other, ways that we can wind down with ASMR, and we're going to talk about how it promotes relaxation and reduces stress and calms the nerves, and how you can actually use it as a tool. In whatever facet. So it's going to be quite a vast conversation.
Including lowering your heart rate. That's an interesting one. It's 20 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time. Lindokuhle Madlingozi will be joining us for an ASMR session.
Midday vibes, great programming, and good company. This is Channel Africa.
Voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Zochitika, ndimoda piri. Kamlondola wazochitika pena bali ponse.
Vuto lakusowa kwa simenti likupitirira ku Malawi ngakhale kuti boma linapanga mgwirizano ndi makampani ena aku Zambia kuti azibweretsa mdziko lo simenti. Nduna ya zamalonda Vitumbuko Mumba yadzudzula makampani ena kuti akubisa simenti ngakhale kuti boma likumawapatsa ndalama yakunja kuti akagule kunja ndi simenti ku Malawi. Ndipo George Muhango tili naye pa line apa kuti atifotokozere zambiri. George, uli bwanji komanso vuto la simenti linamba liti?
Inetu ndili bwino, ndipo vuto la simenti ku Malawi kuno linayamba miyezi itatu yapitayi. Sakupezeka mu mashop amene amagulisiramo komanso kuti makampani amene akupanga simenti amene akupanga ochepa kwambiri, monga mudziwa kunena kuti ndalama yakunja kuti ayitanise katundu amene amathandizira kuti apange simenti amene ikusoweka.
Zochitika ndimoda piri. Lolemba mpaka lachisanu pa nthawi ya 7 koloko kufikira 8 koloko madzulo pa Channel Africa. Whatever you want to hear about today's talk, you can get it on the Upside.
Well, it's 22 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time. This is The Upside on Channel Africa, the African perspective with Tebogo, Lekhuleni and Mmatsheko Mosito. We're coming to you live from the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's now time for us to wind down on The Upside. And we're going to do this with something called ASMR. I say something called, we've been talking about it the whole day, and we gave you the proper name for it. It stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, right? You've watched those videos, you've been on TikTok, and you were like so confused. Why is this person speaking so softly into the microphone? Why are they doing... What is that actually doing? We're going to find out all about ASMR. Lindokuhle Madlingozi is joining us in studio. Good afternoon to you, ma'am. How are you doing?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing very well, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Good. I love your voice.
Already it's coming.
The frequency in your voice is amazing. But let's start with getting to know you a little bit better. We obviously, everyone is drawn to your last name. Madlingozi. So you've clearly brought blessings and rain. Talk to us about just your journey, who you are. I believe you have big interests in sleep and relaxation and beauty.
Yeah. So my name is Lindokuhle Madlingozi. I am an ASMR artist, and I essentially help people relax, fall asleep, calm down, and help comfort people. I use lots of different sounds. I sometimes use like different ornaments that I tap on, and I just explore the sounds of that, and I whisper, and I mostly do it in Zulu because I think Zulu is so beautiful and the
is,
sounds of Zulu can be really calming and ngithanda nje ukukhuluma ngesiZulu. So I use that to help people relax and fall asleep. And there's something called trigger words. So certain trigger words will trigger a response in your body, helping you calm down or get what we call tingles. So it's almost like goosebumps going down your spine. Yeah.
Wait, did you study this?
No, not at all. Not at all.
How did it come about? Tell us about it, the journey, yeah.
A few years ago, I was struggling to sleep, and naturally I hopped onto YouTube and I searched sleep music, and amongst the search there was a video of a lady that was super close to the camera, and I was like, what is this? So I clicked on it, and it was this lady whispering, and I was like, what is going on? But I was feeling really calm and I liked it. Next thing I know, ngivuka ekuseni, and my battery's dead. I fell asleep watching this lady, and that's how ASMR then became a part of my daily routine.
Okay, so you have taught me about this. I didn't know anything about it before I met you, and I know of relaxation music, sleep music, and there are people that have been doing this a long time. But at this level, I didn't know it, and I love that you're using an indigenous language to do this, because it's not just English speaking people that need relaxation. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and also the power of our own languages. Hearing something Zulu, if you're Nguni speaking already, that's 10 points to it. So walk us through your sort of methodology around ASMR and how you, of course, you mentioned using isiZulu, but I'm seeing a video here on unbraiding in isiZulu with poem, and so walk us through what your methodology is, and the type of person that you're targeting.
So I'm mostly targeting people that have insomnia, people that have a bad day, well, so everyone essentially. And essentially the method that I use is soft sounds and whispering, and I try to touch on our emotions. So I'll even use affirmations to just try build someone up and pour into their cup. And I focus a lot on like a personal connection, and I try to just I want it to feel like I'm with the person talking about their day. And there's sometimes I do face touching. It's like I'm touching your face, but I'm not, because I'm on the other side. But that that calms people down, like when you just use your fingers like on their face, and when you speak very kindly and calmly to them. So that's the method I use.
What is it, Lindokuhle, about being so close to the mic, hearing these pops, the sounds, the detail? What is it about that causes us, or a lot of people, to calm down, relax? What is the psychology behind all of that?
Actually, I researched it a couple of months ago, because I was actually like, why do I like this thing? And why is everyone feeling the way that they feel? Because I've gotten multiple people that have reached out and said, I feel so much calmer when I watch your videos. And I stumbled upon a TED Talk TED Talk sounds alike. Stumbled upon a TED Talk that was hosted by Craig Richard, and he researched about ASMR just to find out more about it, and it was found that when we watch and listen to ASMR, the hormone oxytocin, which is also called the love hormone, is released, and that helps people calm down. And essentially when you emulate real life experiences, so I sometimes role play as a doctor, that helps people like calm down and everything, but when you emulate those experiences, people are calmed down by them, and oxytocin is released, so the love hormone, essentially the happy hormone, for a better word. So yes.
Okay. We're learning. We're constantly learning, and I love it for you, and I love it for me. Thank you for staying with us in conversation with our expert who really has tapped into the space of ASMR. Her name is Lekhuleni Madlingozi, and she's really walking us through having found this passion, but also what's really significant to note is how it is helping people. Okay? Because that's another thing with social media spaces is people are not just searching for entertainment, which is also very valuable, but we're also when you go on YouTube, for example, which is where you can find Ndogutle's channel, you type how to sleep, how to relax, how to, we want to learn things. So this is just such a great service to humanity. Any questions you may have, just in case you're able to catch this broadcast live, you may send them to us on Facebook as well as Twitter. But we want to do like a little session with her, okay, so she can help us relax, because it's bedtime for some of us. It's 2 hours away. Let's go to the sports desk. Figilele Ngwati, what's happening?
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
We start off with football news. Round 8 of the CAF Group C FIFA World Cup qualifiers were concluded last night, and with just 2 rounds of qualifiers to be played, it's still advantage South Africa. Bafana Bafana shared the spoils with their nemesis Nigeria in Bloemfontein, but their lead has been cut to just 3 points. Meanwhile, Bafana Bafana coach Hugo Broos was more than satisfied with his team's performance, particularly with the way they stood up to the Super Eagles physically. For once, Bafana Bafana were not intimidated by the Super Eagles' physical presence and forced a 1-1 draw. And Broos had nothing but praise for the commitment they had shown.
Performance of the team. Some players were better than others, but this is what I said already in the pre-match meeting this afternoon. The best team will win the game, not the team with the best players. And I think the proof is there. So the performance that my team made today in this game makes me enormous proud.
Broos was also in awe of the performance by 19-year-old Mbegezeli Mbogazi, who walked away with the Man of the Match award last night.
Look at a guy like Mbogazi. This guy has to go to Europe. He's 19 years old. You see the way he's playing. It's like he has already 10 years experience on this level. It's his third game with the national team. Third game. You see how he's playing. So again, let's hope that some players can do the step next year. It will be good for South African football, believe me.
On to cricket news. South Africa have put their shocking ODI defeat against England behind them. This according to Captain Aiden Markram, as they prepare to face the hosts in a 3-match T20 international series, which gets underway in Cardiff tonight. Proteas won the ODI series 2-1 last week, but they were thumped by 342 runs in the final match in Southampton. Switching formats, Markram insisted they had shaken that off and were ready to go in the T20 series as they look to bounce back against England after being handed a 2-1 defeat by Australia in a 3-match T20 series last month.
Yeah, for sure. The last one was just one of those bad days, I guess. So, generally, as a white ball group, feeling in a pretty decent space, and another exciting series ahead. That starts pretty much where all the conversations and focus has been.
On to basketball now. Greece used their tried and true formula of riding Giannis Antetokounmpo, and it worked yet again in fighting past Lithuania 87-76 in the FIBA Eurobasket 2025 quarterfinals to reach their first semi-final since 2009. Antetokounmpo poured in 29 points, and Greece managed to withstand the boisterous 10,000 fans at Arena Riga, a large majority of whom were Leotuva supporters. After failing to advance past the quarterfinals in 4 of the last 5 Eurobaskets, Greece finally broke through and will face Turkey for a spot in the final. And lastly, it's golf news. Xander Schauffele is not at the Pro Core Championship in Napa, California, with the rest of his United States Ryder Cup teammates in order to be at home in Florida with his newborn son. The rest of the U.S. team is in Northern California this week to squeeze in a final competition before the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black in Farmingdale, New York, from the 26th to the 28th of September. Even Bryson DeChambeau, who is ineligible for PGA Tour events due to his contract with Live Golf, said he would make the trip to Napa to bond with his teammates. However, Schofel confirmed that he chose to remain in Florida after his wife Maya recently gave birth to a boy the couple named Victor. Schofel clinched his spot on the Ryder Cup team with a tie for 22nd at the FedEx St. Jude Championship on the 10th of August. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. This is Channel Africa Sport with me, Figile Lungwati.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Dar es Salaam siku ya leo ni ya kijani.
Ya kabisa, Tanzania nzima macho ni hapa, na mkutano wa leo umeshika karibu 90% ya vyombo vyote vya habari viko hapa kusubiri kusikia ni kitu gani hasa ambacho CCM itakisema katika siku ya kwanza ya grand opening ya uzinduzi wa kampeni zake kitaifa.
Rais wa Tanzania Samia Suluhu Hassan ameidhinishwa kuwania kiti cha urais katika uchaguzi utakaofanyika Oktoba 29 mwaka huu na tume ya uchaguzi. Hili unalizungumzia vipi?
Ila kwanza lilitarajiwa, ni jambo liko wazi kwa sababu Rais Samia ndiye aliyepata idhini ya kuteuliwa na Chama cha Mapinduzi kupeperusha bendera ya chama.
Afrika 11 kamili hadi 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
If it's news and current affairs, leading opinions, and thought leaders that get your groove, this is your home, The Upside.
36 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time. Let's get the latest in business news. Nosipho Zuma is standing by.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Tebogo. Good afternoon. In your business news, the Southern African Music Rights Organization, SAMRO, says 3 publishers listed in the Fundudzi forensic report on fraudulent activities were reinstated after the majority of their members voted to have them back. The 3 members were removed following a general meeting in July. However, the decision has since been overturned and the publishers are reinstated. SAMRO addressed the media in Mill Park, Johannesburg, on issues pertaining to ongoing disputes around the distribution of royalties to composers, authors and publishers. SAMRO CEO Annabel Lebete.
So there is no investigation against the 3 publishers, right? So maybe what had happened on the 10th of July was what was vocalized at that meeting led to the removal that these publishers were implicated, right? But I also want to clarify that when you're appointed as a director to the SAMRO board, you are voted by members because of the either you're a composer, author, member, or publisher, but you sit on the board as an individual.
Zambia's High Court has ruled that Standard Chartered does not have to pay a $500,000 compensation to a former client it sold a now defaulted Chinese property bond to at a height of the Asian country's real estate crisis. The court judgment has ruled that the bank had not broken any local laws by selling the bond in 2022. Now, Zambia's Securities and Exchange Commission sanctioned London-listed Standard Chartered over the issue back in January for breaching 2 of Standard Chartered's rules. Ghana's economy has expanded by 6.3% year-on-year in the second quarter of 2025. The country's statistics agency says that the services sector, encompassing finance, insurance, trade and education, surged by 9.9% in the quarter compared to 2% year earlier. Now in all, GDP rose 7.8%, boosting growth while agriculture expanded and oil contracted. The gold, oil and cocoa producing nation is emerging from its most severe economic crisis in decades. West Africa is urbanizing faster than almost any other region in the world, creating both pressing challenges and opportunities. Now, with Nigeria's infrastructure market valued at more than $600 billion, governments and businesses are looking for solutions that can expand capacity while promoting sustainability. Senior Vice President at DMG Events, Josine Hageman.
International partnerships are absolutely central. As we all know, Nigeria has a vast pipeline of infrastructure projects, but to unlock them, this requires capital, this requires technical expertise, the transfer of technology and global best practices. So as DMG Events, we really see it as our role when we deliver our events, that we connect international solution providers, of course, with local stakeholders on the ground, that we ensure that there is opportunities for knowledge sharing and also plenty of opportunities for collaboration.
And finally, oil prices have risen after Israel attacked Hamas leadership in Qatar. Brent crude futures were up 66 US cents at $67.05 a barrel, and US West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 68 cents to $63.31 a barrel. Prices had settled 0.6% higher in the previous trading session after Israel said it had attacked Hamas leadership in Doha. Your financial indicators: $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 506. In Botswana, it's 13 pula 21. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 39. And in Zambia, it's 23 kwacha 89. The BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 43. Russia is 83 rubles 24. India, it's 88 rupees 44. China, it's 7 yuan 12. And in South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 50. $1 is trading at 74 pence to the British pound and 85 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $3,642 and platinum at $1,385 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $66.92 a barrel. Now, for any business news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I'm Mosito Soma.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous passionné par la radio? Et êtes-vous qualifié pour travailler en Afrique du Sud? Envoyez-nous votre CV et vos 3 minutes démo en MP3 à @channelafrica.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday, 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the whole country affected by gender-based violence. For all your favorite SABC radio stations, call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC.
Fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from the African perspective.
It's 43 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African time. We are still hanging out with the amazing Lindokuhle Madlingo's ASMR artist. And she's teaching us all things ASMR. You've probably come across her videos or similar videos on social media, and you've been wondering, what is this thing all about? Why are they speaking in such a slow? Why are they whispering? Why are they... What is that? What is that? And she's going to guide us now through an entire session that will hopefully help you to relax, calm down, lower that heart rate, especially if you're at work right now and someone is stressing you about a deadline, Mmatsheko. You need an ASMR session, right? Is that a fact or not?
Let's go for it. let's do this, because also I would imagine one session has so many benefits. It's not just for relaxation, but it helps to improve sleep. It helps to improve your racing thoughts. It helps to support your mood overall. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Ngizosho isiqiniseko kuwe. Awudingi ukuziguqula ukuze uthandwe. Wanele. Ubalulekile. Ubalulekile. Zithembe ngamakhono akho. Zithembe ngamakhono akho. Welcome to another ASMR video. Namkelekele, 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 namkelekele. Hlala ukhululeke. Hlala ukhululeke. Hlala ukhululeke. Hlala ukhululeke. Trigger words ngesiZulu. Isibiliboco. Isibiliboco. Amacici. Amacici. Ulale kahle. Ulale kahle. Ulale kahle. Ulale kahle. Siyabonga.
Towards the end, I actually could feel myself shift. Yeah, that was glorious.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
And also, I have to note that social media, it can be such a dark place. You know, just so much negativity, and especially for women, you know, throwing all kinds of things at one another. So to find this light on social media is really truly a gift. Thank you. That was nice. I enjoyed that.
Brilliant.
I really enjoyed that.
Can you tell that I'm about to fall asleep?
Yes.
Can you tell my eyes?
I actually can tell. Yes, you're not joking.
I'm not joking at all. Thank you so much, Lindo Gutler, for that. That was beautiful. Proper. For those who want to follow you on social media and keep up with your journey and hopefully get live sessions themselves in person, where can they find you?
I am Lindo's ASMR on all platforms: Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lindo.
Thank you,
All the best. And like Tebogo was saying to you off air, when you have a live session, please plug us. We want to be there and experience it in person. But this was such a privilege. Please follow her. Also, her YouTube channel is amazing because the length of the videos is definitely going to benefit you. She's got videos anything from 19 minutes to like an average of, let's say, 17 minutes, and a slightly longer. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Actually, before we let you leave,
Yes.
for those people who might run into you on the streets, do you whisper in your normal, everyday conversations?
Not always, but it's so funny.
Or maybe you can see somebody slouching their shoulders and you're like,
literally, sometimes there was someone that I met and we had a moment where we were just whispering to each other and
Love it. Love it.
I love it. Lindo Kuhle Madlingozi leaving the building, ladies and gentlemen. ASMR artist. Go check out on all social media platforms. It's now 10 minutes before 4 p.m. Central African time. Don't go anywhere. Some music coming your way before we hand over to the Queen of Africa in business. That's Tami Ngubeni.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine, weekdays 6 till 9.
Former politician and diplomat. He's the leader of the Democratic Alliance Party at one stage and also served as South Africa's ambassador to Argentina, Uruguay and Paraguay. Ambassador Tony Leon, if you were party leader now and in the GNU, what would you be pushing for?
I can speak with some direct experience because, as you might know, I was actually one of the negotiators of the GNU last year when it was formed. What I'd be pushing for is to hold the government or the president's feet to the fire on actually operationalizing the agreement that was implemented. Unfortunately, that agreement has been honored only in its breach. And I think, go back to basics and just say, okay, we're not going any further with this arrangement until we actually implement these steps.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous passionné par la radio? Et êtes-vous qualifié pour travailler en Afrique du Sud? Envoyez-nous votre CV et vos 3 minutes démo en MP3 à @channelafrica.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from the African perspective.
Yeah, you know it. Lelo jezo walishia gimi. Eline punga lako. Putumalo yako. Kushoti keli ni kama hora mawili kamele sfuben sako angoba unempatho kunhlanga zimuka noma uyadali ngicela itelepota dali enhlizweni yakho zofika maduze phakathi kwamabili u12 akulaleki ngathi ngiphuza ikoflela the Jimmy choose on True Scott Green and I was shoes and drinking loose. You say your ex used to play you like a good song. Mina ngile ngomo iphila ubusuku bonke jukebox. Mina ngile mbali owayithola kumdali. Ejabule sihlozi nabasali. Isikhali isidalele thina baby yangali. Mhlambe sona sinenkani kodwa mina nawe sihlezi sineplani. Bengisahlanganisa lo cash ngizama ukuthola i-private jet ngizobona ukushare. Bayadela laba babonayo. Africa. Sihlangane Moses Mapita. Angasi noma wena uboni. Mawumeke ibhayisekile shofi. Fangina ngishayina ngiyaglitha. Igolide silver. Uthi mangindise ngishaya izimpiko.
We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
On veut nous faire croire à des mythes perdus, des passages de l'histoire falsifiés et revus, de Ramsès à Mandela, que de vérité tue. En ignorant le départ, on est ressemblé. A été reine, belle et puissante, Salomon rêvait de sa peau noire. Je chante pour raviver les mémoires, exhumer les connaissances. Que la spirale du temps efface la reine de sa vie en moi. Makeda vit en moi. Ravivons nos mémoires, il faut changer l'histoire. Elle part à la dérive, mes mots non. Le savoir et la sagesse sont à portée de main. Écoutez, observe. Makeda était reine, belle et puissante. Salomon rêvait de sa peau noire. Je chante pour raviver les mémoires, exhumer les connaissances. Que la spirale du temps efface la reine de sa vie en moi. Makeda vit en moi. Mon pote dans ce chant, il exalte sa joie. Loin de l'ignorance, il démontre sa foi. Riche d'hommes et de valeurs, il répare les erreurs. Fils et filles, vous et moi.
It's 2 minutes before 4 p.m. Central African Time. Le Nubian. Did I say it properly, Mmatsheko? Le Nubian?
Les Nubians.
Le Nubian.
Les Nubians.
Le Nubian.
Just say les Nubias, okay?
Le Nubias.
Once.
With Makeda. And before that, we had Ndizamshin by Nomfundo Mo. Beautiful music coming to you on the Upside this afternoon. What a show it's been. My goodness me.
It was a wholesome show.
What a healing show.
Yes. So thank you to the executive producer, Nombuyiselo Tango, who has taken a break. And our madam producer for the next 3 days is Ntsako Mhlanga, and she gave us a show and a half today. Really amazing.
Brilliant. We delved into ASMR. Now you know what ASMR is all about.
I learned something today.
Yeah, we got to be to the theory and then the practicality of
Yes.
it. And then we also delved into African vegan cuisine. Your favorite topic.
Delicioso.
Share some of your favorite memories from today's show. Our TikTok account is at Channel Africa on TikTok. Is it at Channel Africa 1? on TikTok.
Yes.
And at Channel Africa on Facebook and on YouTube. What were your favorite moments from today's show? All right, we're going to hand over now to the one and only, the Queen of Africa in business, Tami Ngubeni.
This is actually the perfect handover song. Like, I just think it's perfect. So yes, tune in just after the 4 p.m. news bulletin. She will be coming through and talking business on the continent, and also she looks at what's happening globally and how it affects the African continent. And she's here. Good afternoon, Tammy.
A very good afternoon to you. A really quick one. What we've got in store for you, there's a new law, a new tax law that was instituted in Nigeria. It was supposed to be taking effect. It's a part of the fiscal overhaul, and it includes an increase of around 5% to the fuel levy. And obviously, labor unions and average Nigerians not very happy about this. We'll be taking a look at this. It has been postponed, though, its implementation, but we'll find out exactly what it entails and as well as its future. And we'll also look at the Culture Summit, which is currently underway, and it's more about organizational culture. So HR executives, coming together and different departments, just discussing the culture of business on the continent.
I love how we are fixing the continent. I really love it for us. Okay, 4 p.m. news time. We're back again tomorrow, 1 to 4 p.m. for The Upside. Stay tuned for Tami Ngubeni coming through with Africa in Business. Have a pleasant afternoon. Cheers.
Connecting Africa to the world. Africa in Business with Tami Ngubeni brings you the latest insights on Africa's economy.
It is exactly